My name is Andrea Landry, and I assert myself as an Indigenous sovereign from the Anishinaabe Nation, and I choose not to vote in Canadian political elections. I am moving ahead from what Canada wanted to do to my people, right? Which is they wanted us to all be dead. They didn't want Indians to exist. And that's still part of the political agenda today. And what can I do as an individual to ensure that the original intent, spirit and intent of treaty isn't dismissed, isn't washed away, isn't looked at as, oh, that happened a long time ago, that's irrelevant, because it's not irrelevant, right? As long as the sun shines, grass grows, waters flow, right? It's eternal, that relationship. And what was agreed upon within that relationship is eternal. So things can't change just because the Canadian political system says, oh, here's a new act. Now we're going to take over and control all the Indians. And so for me, it's like maintaining the relevancy and maintaining the power and the spirit and intent of what was originally agreed upon when settlers were allowed and are continued to be allowed to live on our lands today. The Crown, and which is now also Canada, was never supposed to govern Indigenous nations. Things like the Indian Act has gone through, and there's been this concept or idea that Canada Canada can govern us. It didn't matter how many meetings I went to. It didn't matter how many politicians, how many MPs, even the prime minister when I met with Stephen Harper. It didn't matter how many times we met with these politicians and how many different ways we asked for help. The change wasn't happening in my community. I wasn't seeing anything, any results of that. And so I was investing, literally working all night, developing political statements and begging for help, and there was none. And so for me, like it was like voting in these systems isn't going to change, because even when you're meeting with these politicians, there's no change, right? And so yeah, like you can look at examples that have happened historically, and that required a ton of momentum and a ton of like revolutionary acts. These systems won't save us because they were originally designed to create this in the first place. Not voting, people can say, oh, well, you're just agreeing with the system. No, I'm not. Because I'm doing everything in my absolute power to create shifts and changes in my own home for my girls. It was something that Canada will never do. Yeah, Canada won't teach my girls or show my girls how to heal. Canada will continue to traumatize the children in my communities. We are teaching ourselves to recover, to heal, and to thrive within our communities, within our family systems, when Canada wanted us dead. So for me, that's how I am politically engaged. That's how I am making shifts and changes. I'm so sure and certain of where I stand that what other people want to do is up to them. Yeah. And then if they say, oh, well, what if we all voted an Indigenous politician in place one day? And it's like, all right, great. But whose laws is that Indigenous politician going to have to follow?